from this computer. And you may have to let Sharon in. Since she's
I see her. I see her name.
okay, so she got back in. She's just not showing up. Okay, so I will start and then I'll hand it over to you. Okay.
Okay.
Hello, this is the Tuesday Book Club with the Dynamic Authors Group, and we're so excited to be here tonight. We're glad that y'all have joined us. We are going to be hearing from author Alicia Adamson, and she has a series of children's books called the Adamson Crew Family Chronicles. And so basically what she's been doing with her daughter and her husband and her two twin boys is they have they're kind of sharing their family adventure with people, with other families. So Alicia, thanks so much for being here tonight. I'm going to make you the host so you can do, and then if you have anything you want to hand it back to me at the end and we'll finish up, that'll be great.
All right. All right. Well, hello, everyone. I've seen most of you. I've seen all of you actually before, so I'm happy to be part of the group. I'm happy that Liz has crossed paths with me. God saw fit. So I appreciate that in building that rapport up. As Liz says, before we have a YouTube channel, that's what we started, and we targeted, we opened a toy one day on our YouTube channel, and all of a sudden we started getting tickets for places and toys from places, and they just wanted us to review them and put it on our YouTube channel. So we did that with our kids, and then the pandemic hit, of course, and nothing was open, so we couldn't go to the Children's Museum. We couldn't go to the safari and places like that because everything was shut down. So we were like, well, we wanted to write a children's book, so why not do it during the pandemic? And so that's pretty much how that started. We just got to writing our stories. We always wanted our children's books to be about our family. Every time, we go out and we would look for different books and things like that. And Morgan would always get princes. Matthew and Miles would always get, dinosaurs and things like that. So we didn't see a lot of family children books out there. And so we seemed like a positive family to us. And we thought that we wanted to share us with the world. So everybody is not on YouTube. So why not put it, on paper? And that's what we did. So our children's books are for the age group of grade school, kindergarten through 5th, 6th grade. And we usually target the schools, daycares, doctor offices. And recently, because of our last book that came out, last week, Liz, I believe, we've had some realtors actually buy our books. And they are going to give them to some of the children when a family buys a house. It goes into their little gift basket. So I thought that was a cute idea.
That's great.
Now I'm going to be marketing to realtors.
There you go. There you go.
So just to say that, don't just think that your book is just in this little circle. We have to be outside of the box, because who would have thought? And so now I look at my book, light, and the twin fund doctor visit, for example, I'm thinking doctor offices, because kids are there. Why not have it in a doctor office? And now realtors, because it's about moving. So just think outside the box a little bit, and sometimes it might not come like that, but it will come. So I am going to share my screen. I want to show you just a quick video real quick. Can you guys see?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
No.
This is, who can't see?
Sharon. Oh, the rest of us can see. So.
Okay, it's recording. So this is a video that I actually put on for pretty much marketing for here and then Ghana, Africa. And I do certain videos, so I have 2 or 3 of them.
Hey everyone, how are you? My name is Alicia Adamson, and I am the author, along with my daughter, who is the co-author of the Adamson Crew Family Chronicles. This is a 5-book series. It is 4 fun reading books and 1 coloring and activity book that we're sure you're going to love. These books are fun, adventurous, and vibrant. You're going to love everything about them. Our first book
Very cool. Very cool. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you. So at the end, it does say with your parents' permission. And it does have to lash them down at the bottom. Ask your parents, because I don't want them to go over to Amazon and start clicking buttons, because they know how to click buttons. So today, what I am going to read to you today is Morgan Becomes a Big Sister. This is our very first book, so I felt like it would be awesome to read this book to you all. So hopefully it doesn't take long. This is my first reading in this setting. Normally, like I was telling Liz before, I'm in like some kind of class setting and I'm reading and then I'm like, reading and So hopefully this will go smoothly. Morgan Becomes a Big Sister. At the beginning, we always have our dedication, and I'm always equipped with a scripture. So Jeremiah 29:11 is our favorite scripture because God always has our plans out for us. Morgan will be a big sister soon. Mommy and Daddy are not only having one baby, they are having two babies. The babies will be her twin brothers. Morgan will have to stay with Nana and Papa until they come home from the hospital. Morgan can't wait for her brothers to come home, but she feels excited, sad, and confused all at the same time. Yes, I'm gonna be a big sister. Their names will be Miles and Matthew. But now I have to share everything. Will Mommy and Daddy love them more than me? Will they still play games with me? Wait, whoa. Do I have to share my toys? No, not all my toys. Mommy and Daddy spoke with Morgan, and they talked about how things would change, but their love would never change. But Morgan was still unsure. Morgan, you will be a big sister, and I will need your help, Mommy said. But I don't want to share everything. Can you take them back to the hospital if they cry too much or if they steal my toys? Morgan asked. Mommy and Daddy chuckled. She replied, oh no, dear. They will be a part of our family forever. I'm sure you will love being a big sister. Morgan was still worried, and she would have to share her toys, stuffed animals, and her parents' attention. What if Mommy and Daddy loved the brothers more? Morgan went to her room to lay with Sparkle, her stuffed fairy. Sparkle, I need your help. My brothers are coming soon, and I have to share everything, even Mommy and Daddy, Morgan said. Don't be sad or upset. You're going to be a big sister, and that's exciting, Sparkle responded. Let me show you all the fun things you will do. All big sisters and brothers show their sibling their new home, new room, and toys. You'll learn to feed them and change them, Sparkle said. You will sing to them, and best of all, you will love them, just like your mommy and daddy love you, Sparkle said. Today, Mommy and Daddy are going to the hospital. When they come home, Morgan will have two little brothers. Morgan is ready and excited. Nana and Papa took Morgan to see her twin brothers in the hospital. Morgan got to hug her brothers. Oh, they're so cute. I can't wait to show you your home, Morgan said. Morgan welcomed her brothers home. Her little brother's home. She showed him everything, even her toys. Morgan learned that just because you gain a little sister or brother doesn't mean your parents will forget about you or love you any less. In fact, they will care and love you just the same. It doesn't mean you will have to give up everything. It means you get to be a big helper and show them everything. And at the end of every book, the Adamson has the Adamson Crew Family Words to Live By. And these are quotes that we use in our house with our children. Never compare your beginnings to someone else's middle or end. And because God made you, you're always enough. And then book 2. That's it.
Very good. Very good. Well done.
Thank you.
Well done.
Adorable.
not only a good story, well told.
Thank you.
Yeah, so that's fun.
How long did it take you to do that first book?
Well, we had the stories because there are about our real life stories. And so we had the stories already set up. Then I started to work with, I didn't know anything about writing a book. So I had to do some research about, writing books, who to target and all the background and everything like that. And then we ran into a group in Texas, and Liz was a part of that. And Liz just took me under the wing and showed me the way about it. So the first book took about maybe to actually write it, only about maybe a month or so. And then I worked with Liz with illustrations and what I want there and how I want it to look and things like that. So in the other books that we have, there's little key things in there, like my husband's mom passed away. We keep a plant in the kitchen that has her name on it. And I incorporated that in the book so that people that know Jude's know that that plant is Jude's, and that's what we have in our real life kitchen. So things like that we incorporate in the books. And so it didn't take long, Liz, to do pretty much anything else. After that first book, about 6 months to get it down pat and where I wanted it, the next 3 came pretty quick. And they got on Amazon pretty quick.
Yeah,
Super cute books.
Yeah.
Thank you.
First one took, I guess, about 6 months, because we were working with a different illustrator, and then they disappeared, and then they showed back up, and then they disappeared, and then they showed back up.
Also,
what I wanted to know about the
illustrators are kind of like chefs, huh? They're like,
that's it.
Real unstable.
Okay,
who did them? Liz,
Go
who
ahead.
did you hire for illustrators?
Well, we originally we had the other group was kind of managing, a group that I work with was kind of managing things, and I guess the first guy was a gentleman out of Africa, and so he did the first book, and then he did the characters, and then we took it from there. And Hatis, our illustrator in Turkey, we compared the thing. I sent her the first book and said, "Can you match these sketches?" And of course she could. And so she drew the second book. I guess we had the cover and we had the drawings, didn't we? We had the black and pencil drawings from the second book.
Mm-hmm.
But like I say, then the illustrator disappeared for about 4 or 5, weeks, 6 weeks, and we didn't know what was going on. And so
after a while, I just was like, it's my book, it's our book here. And I don't want to be on somebody else's schedule who really just doesn't really care about the book. And that's how I felt. So, Liz, like she said, got someone to match the illustrations, and we're going to go with it.
Yeah.
I don't want to waste no one time.
I did hear it.
Wasting
I
mine.
did hear it, and it was very good.
Thank
I didn't
you.
get to see it, but I did get to hear it.
well, now we can see you. So
That is true, isn't it? Once you write the book and you're waiting for the illustrator, you're like, I know what I want. I know what it's going to look like. Let's just move it along. Yeah, it's tough to wait for the illustrator to get done.
And I was very detailed, very detailed.
I understand that.
Yeah, but it's been a journey. I've loved the journey, and I'm not gonna go right back into our next series. We have 2 more series after this, but I'm not gonna jump right into it because I want to see how marketing and all of that flows before I jump into the next series. We have a series called Family Values. This series here is called Family Chronicles, and we have one Family Values, which is our characters. The next one after that would be Family Adventures, and that's just the adventures where we've gone.
Yeah, like to the beach or to the mountains or to wherever, they try to take the kids out and give them experiences so that they can learn different stuff and meet different people and find out about water and beaches and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you don't want to do series 2 till you know that series 1 is selling.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's where we're at too, to get that
Same
first
thing.
report done and
Same
Oh,
thing.
the
I did
release.
Yeah, so
I
I'm
did a
gonna
bunch
give
of
you a
books. Now I want to sell them. Then I'll do more. Not
right,
until
right.
I sell them. Yeah.
Yes, and get to know, and get to know my audience. Even though I know my target audience and who I'm targeting and who I would be marketing to, I want them to really get to know the Adamson Crew, who we are. So that when that second book come around, it's almost like the Cailloux and the Fancy Nancys out there. The Adamson Crew, we know who they are. So I want them to get to know us as much as we want to get to know our audience.
And I think we're all kind of handicapped because of the virus, the pandemic.
Yes.
You can't get out and talk. Everything that has to do with selling books has to do with, touching people, to reach out to people. And
Signing
you just can't
books.
do that. I mean,
Yes.
you just can't do that right now. So it's,
Well, Alicia,
we're
you
going to have
actually
to wait
did
till
a
that
school
clears up.
thing. Did you do a school thing this past
My
week?
daughter, we did it via Zoom too.
Oh, okay.
But the kids, for some, you reading it and then flashing the picture to them. I don't know. They get excitement out of that. The way that they are programmed, when the teacher is in front and reading it to them, she reads it and then shows them the picture. So that's how I did that one. But yeah, I actually have a nice book fair coming up. It was coming up, Liz, I spoke about it. It was coming up in May, but they pushed it back to the fall because of supposedly herd immunity.
Right.
Times in the summertime. So if that does come, herd immunity. But if it does come, then it's not until fall. So we'll see how that goes.
I got a feeling that that's when everything will start to come out. Not until then. It's
Yeah.
going to be fall.
Yeah. So they went back.
What's that, Sharon?
I said, I hope so, because all the book signings that we had that sounded really good, and I had a lot of people excited about it. Then it just went away.
Right.
Yeah.
So hopefully we get back on schedule of some kind.
Well, to me, my thought is right now is to get absolutely prepared, have everything ready, so that when it happens, you don't have to do anything. You're ready. You've got all your ducks in an order, and so that then you're ready. So that's kind of what I'm looking at this time, is get everything lined up and ready to go.
Right.
Well, I have my ducks, but I have one goose too.
Well,
I literally do.
What I have done recently is reached out to some of my Facebook friends and post things like that, like my video that I posted. Sometimes that grabs people's attention. I don't know why, but it does. And I have books here at the house, and I tell them that you can have you can have it signed, autographed by me. And I'm also sending, the bookmarks and the stickers that Liz sent, that that little email that she sent out. We got those, and I send them out in the package so that they can have it. It's not me sitting there signing the book, as people are walking by or coming up to the table. But yes, it's another way of me signing the book and getting it out there. And Morgan signs it, and we just send it. And truth of the matter is, I still get more money doing it that way than I do, through Amazon. But of course, Amazon takes off a lot of, shipping and handling. And if something's wrong, you can return it and all of that kind of stuff. I don't have that, but I've done that, and it's worked out pretty well. Matter of fact, the realtors, both of them lives within 15 minutes from me, so I was able to actually sign all of the copies and take it there.
Right, and drop it off. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of look at Amazon as you're not going to make any money on Amazon. I look at Amazon as the exposure vehicle.
Yeah.
Not going to make money on my website, not on signings or whatever. Amazon is just so it's out there.
I hope they get all their technical stuff fixed up, because 2 or 3 of my books that I had sent out got sent back as undeliverable, and then they, I got credit and had to send them again. I don't know what their problem is.
Yeah.
Well, fingers crossed. I haven't had those issues. So and I've heard of all the stories and the horror stories. Anytime I open the box, I just say, Bless this box, Lord.
Maybe
You know?
I need to try that.
That's it, Sharon. You're not praying hard over those boxes.
That's what it is.
You gotta
Pray over those boxes.
behind it. You know, you
Worth a
gotta,
try.
Well, I
Worth a
tried.
try.
yes.
But your book, you did
All of
good.
your support. Yeah.
Like I said, I didn't get to see the pictures, but I
You
was
got a book?
listening and it
You've
was
got a
very
book,
nice.
don't you? You want to hold the book up, Alicia, or can you go back to the share screen with the?
Yeah. Share me. I mean, yeah.
What size book is it, Alicia?
8. What
Eight.
size?
What size?
Yeah.
8.5 by 8.5.
Do you have a picture of it?
Yeah, she was gonna. That's the second one.
That's very nice.
book
I
two.
like that.
This is
Very
the second-
colorful. I like that.
Yeah, this
Kids
is the
love color.
They're all outlined. You know, Liz helps me with some ideas, and I tell her, and she says, well, maybe if we tweak it this way, or maybe if we do it this way, you know, sometimes 2 minds are better than one tired mommy.
That's why we love Liz, because she has all these great ideas.
Yep.
So yes,
Okay, well, that's great. So, so your plan is to do the 4 books, and then, you know, so and your husband works with you, doesn't he? Kenny?
yes, he does, and hopefully I'll get this coloring book on the way. We hope to get that out within the next couple of weeks, and we have some free crowns that we're going to send out with that. And you know, the coloring book is something we would sit, like, you know, Jay Stephen was saying, if we were at an actual, you know, book fair or something like that. Those are the kind of things that we would, you know, give people and all that kind of stuff. So now they just have to be perks.
Yeah, they got activity
We
sheets.
hope to get that out. Yeah.
Got some puzzles and things like that are going in with the coloring sheets that have, you know, word find and word search and, you know, all of those kinds of stuff. We've made up some of those things. So,
And if y'all like the book, head on over to Amazon and drop in a review if you like.
That's tough getting people to review your book, you know.
Oh,
I've asked several
it
people,
is.
Is
but
it ever?
Well, isn't there a requirement with Amazon that you have to buy it to be able to review it?
yeah, but I mean, even 2 or 3
You have
people
to.
that have bought one,
Okay.
it's just tough to get them to take the time.
Yeah, people just don't do it. The only time
Right.
people want to review it is if they don't like something.
That's true.
right.
Well,
Yeah, then
maybe
they'll
that's
jump
why.
on.
Maybe that's why
Sad.
they're not reviewing my book.
Sad but true.
Because it said verified. Maybe that's why it says verified purchase.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah,
They won't let you
they-
review
have
it
to
unless
buy
you,
it.
so you don't have the author writing 100 reviews of their book.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So that's,
Yeah.
yeah, you do have to actually do from them. But that's, you know, but one of the other things is, like you say, is having the reviews done. And I mean, that's a thing as a group that we could do. And even if you don't have the review on Amazon, you know, you get somebody to write you a testimonial. So if you've got somebody that's read the book and they like it, you just ask them, would you send me a testimonial that I can put on my website?
Yeah.
Put on social media, or I can put on Facebook or whatever. Because it's just that, you know, there's just something about that peer stuff. You know, if somebody
Yeah.
else bought it, well, maybe, you know, then I can buy it too, kind of thing, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There's-
Nobody wants to be
there's
the
a
first
group-
one.
That I'm working with, but the reviewers are asking $50 to $75 to review.
Whoa.
Then you get a
Well, the
professional.
one I did,
Yep,
was
you get
90
a professional review.
yeah, $97 on book. What is it? Book club.
Oh, you mean it's like a blog or whatever, a club where they review your book? Yeah. Yeah, they're all out
Well,
there.
this
Yeah.
one's they said 10,000 members, and you pay them $97. They review your book, and then you have a chance to have. Of course, they post all reviews, and then also another author can switch books with you, and they review your book, you review their book. So
Is that
I don't know. My
Reedsy?
first one.
Is that the one you're talking about?
I'm sorry.
Reedsy.
Reedsy?
Reedsy was the one I was talking about.
No,
No.
this online book club.
Has
And like
anyone
I said,
paid for anybody to do that and found that they got a great return on their investment?
Well, I don't know. I've got, I think I sold maybe 3 books out of it, but I got a very good review on my first one, which was The Swing, the first one that actually I put out. So,
I got 2 good reviews, But then, you've got to make sure that's where I've got I love all these great ideas and do all this stuff, but then I got to keep following through, because then there's launch.
Well, yeah, no, my logic is lots of times an author will love a review, but if it doesn't sell books, my return on investment was not good.
Well,
and I'm
that's
always
the
looking
whole
at
thing.
that. I spent $70 and I made 12. I'm not going to do that again.
Well, that's why I think when we do our group thing that we should offer reviews. And I mean, because people are, if they're going to pay dodos like me $97, we could charge 50, or
Yeah,
45 or
Yeah,
whatever.
45, 50. Yeah, that would be part of our benefit package
Yeah.
at different
Yeah,
levels.
that's a good idea, Sharon.
There's
Yeah.
a lot of different things like that. With Ingram, I went with their marketing package, and it was like
$90 marketing package, 85 or whatever it is.
40. It was $45 a book. No, wait, it was 85. You're right. It's 85.
85, yeah.
Yeah, but it was good for a quarter. That's out there for 4 months or 3 months.
You mean your review was there for 4 months, or?
No, it's not a
No,
review. It's
it's an
they
ad.
promote it right to their.
You get the actual, where normally your book's just kind of the title and some basics about it.
Uh-huh.
But if you pay for this package, then you get the full synopsis and a picture of the cover of the book, and it's more eye-catching considering how many thousands. But that exposure is over 30,000 people, 30,000 booksellers. In fact, we had a situation. We were guided by the children's director, the director of the children's
Library
in Wauwatosa, and we called her to thank her and tell her that there were several books. And Bojar had said to her, it's on Amazon. I said, oh, it's on Ingram. She's like, oh, well, good, because then right away it's available, the e-reads, all the different things that the libraries are doing, and the exposure is just so much bigger. So we're starting.
Does your book have to be printed through Ingram? Do they have to print it before, or can you just pay for the package?
Oh no, it's got to.
It has to be printed, right?
Right. It has to be in their account.
They have to print it.
Ingram's basically printing all of them anyways. It's the back door behind.
But they won't do it if you go like through Amazon to do it. You have to do
right.
it.
Right. I had to pay. I didn't have to pay, but I had to switch my books from Amazon to Ingram, and that took a while. That took almost, it was Christmas, so it was 30 days.
And so what was your return on that?
I've definitely seen bigger royalty checks from Ingram than I ever saw from Amazon.
Oh, yeah, that's easy. There's a low bar.
Yeah, you could sell 5 books and that would be more than Amazon.
Yeah, well,
that's what I mean. Amazon, everything beats Amazon.
Yeah.
But I mean, you thought it was worth the $85.
10.
You think made a difference? You got your money back plus.
I'm feeling like I'm seeing it. I'm seeing 10 times, 15 times what we were getting on Amazon on Ingram.
Yeah, I thought about those kind of things.
Yeah.
And
I feel like we haven't even really promoted
over, Alicia.
We'll talk about it. I'm still living on the high of I got 4 books out there. Okay.
That's right. Written and produced and ready to go.
Forget if anybody's reading them. You got them out. That's what was step 1.
Linda, did it cost you anything to switch from Amazon to the other?
Ingram.
Yes, there's a basic fee with Ingram of it's $45 for a print and an ebook, or $45 for a print only and $25 for an ebook. So they've got different packages, but it was like $45 to.
But is that included in the 85?
No, that 85 was over and above.
Yeah, and what Ingram had, the reason most of the time we don't start with Ingram is because they're an old traditional printer and they're used to charging for negatives and plates and putting it on the press and all of that. So they still have that setup fee. What is called is a setup fee. So you're paying a $45 setup fee, regardless, or a $29 setup fee, depending on if you're doing a paperback or an ebook, or if you're doing them at the same time. They didn't used to do ebooks. They've never done ebooks until the last couple of months. So they just started doing that. And that's probably because they're getting a lot of requests from libraries, for ebooks, because they can't buy an ebook through Amazon because that's a Mobi file. And as y'all all saw, and I got the emails from all of you today that said you got information from Kindle that said we're switching finally from the Mobi files. Everybody else has been on an EPUB platform for the last 10 years except for Amazon. Amazon's had their own file system. So the question is, if you want your book to be a double page spread, you need to leave it as a Mobi file. If you don't care that it comes up a page at a time, because that's what a Kindle usually is. That's what an EPUB is. It's a scrolling thing. It's a scrolling format. There are no page numbers. So you don't really have a page 1 and a page 2. With a children's book, it's a little more specific. You kind of can still keep your page numbers. But with any other fiction or nonfiction book, you don't put page numbers on it because you don't know if somebody's reading on their phone, or somebody's reading on their tablet, their Kindle, or somebody's reading on their computer. So that means what happens to the copy is it goes up and down like this, okay? And so if you want the image and the copy to be on the same page together, you need to keep it as a Mobi, as a double page spread file. If you don't care that the copy is on one page and the picture's on another page and the copies are the picture, then you can go ahead and go with an EPUB file. Does that make sense for everybody? If you're doing if you're doing fiction, it's not going to matter. It's only going to matter if you're doing children's books.
Did you get that thing I sent you today
Well,
from
everybody got
Amazon?
it. Everybody got one,
Oh,
Karen.
okay.
That's what I'm telling you. Everybody got one. Amazon is going to an EPUB file or a Word document, but the problem with that is it moves. Okay, so if you've got something that you want stationary, if you want this picture to stay with this piece of copy, you got to keep it in a Mobi file. If you don't care if that picture disappears and goes down 3 or 4 pages, your copy's up here and your picture's at the end, or your picture's at the beginning and then your copy's there, because it moves in the other files. And that's one of the reasons.
It doesn't move with the text?
No.
That FLEB, but
there is a new format. Yeah,
format that's the EUB. I get all these acronyms wrong. FL
that supposedly locks it down, and we'll see. But that's a brand new platform. That's brand new.
So it's kind of the new platform is kind of like what you get in Word and Pages, where you can say move with text or not.
Right.
The new platform will now let it move with the text. It won't be stationary while the text is moving.
Right.
Now I'm saying, if you create a document in Pages, and I think it's the same in Word, you can either tell the picture you have there to stay there no matter what happens, or move with the text. You have a choice. So the new format is now allowing that to happen, where it stays with the right copy.
Right.
That's what I have Liz for.
Right.
I don't understand any of it.
Hey, Liz, what are they doing with then existing Mobi titles on Amazon? Are they going to convert them all?
They're not going to convert. You have till June to convert yourself.
Oh, really? Do they have some sort of interface for that?
Or they go away, I guess. That's what it looked like. I haven't read through all of it. I'll go read through all of it tomorrow and send you an email.
Yeah, obviously you need to let us know that, because we may have to convert, especially for us that did children's books.
Right.
I don't know what to convert myself to.
Yeah.
Well, the KDP platform
is already converted. Jay Stephen, your stuff is already converted, because we loaded EPUB files to Ingram, so you don't have to worry about it, Jay Stephen.
So we're good. Okay. Yeah. But some of the older ones will have to do that. They're going to have to convert.
Right.
Older books, not older people.
Yeah, make sure.
Yeah, I'll read through the whole document, Janice, because I'm not really sure, but I'm pretty sure that's what I read in Linda's today, that like by a certain date in June, maybe it's July, but there's some date that by a certain date, if you don't change, then it's gonna.
Well, they must have do something in the KDP settings that they'll help you do that, like, because that's what it does for you, right? You upload your document, it creates a Mobi file for you. So they must
Well, most of the time when we get files new, Linda and them are doing a new file in this new system I've never heard of or seen. So there's some kind of thing that called FLP pub or FL pub or whatever.
Yeah, FLEP.
To go,
I've
but
never
I'll see
seen that
y'all. Thank
before. So
you.
that's a brand new software or a brand new document that they're doing. And
So it's still going to be
Alicia, did you give me
proprietary then
back
to
the host?
Amazon.
Or you? Oh, okay.
Is the new FLP whatever going to be proprietary, or is it going to be?
Because then what's the point? Like,
just
you know,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
No,
right.
that's something
I
that
talked to
Ingram does.
Yeah, I talked to Ingram and they said that the FLE pub is primarily for picture books, so that you've got that you're anchoring stuff down.
So
you anchor them together.
It's mainly
Your text and
children's
your
books.
with your
photographs
copy.
stay together.
Yeah.
Right. So, so for anything else, I mean, every time we convert files to ebooks, we always convert Mobi and EPUB both. So I have both files for anything that we've done, you know, except for this last stuff that Linda, that y'all did, you know, but the other stuff we should have, you know, as well. But, you know, the fiction books, it's like you say, most of the time they don't have pictures. Occasionally nonfiction might have charts, or it might have graphics, or it might have, you know, occasionally you do have, you know, something there, and it needs to kind of stay with the copy. You know, you know, if you're talking about accounting, for instance, and you want to show a flow chart, you know, you need the flow chart to stay with the information about the flow chart, not show up 4 or 5 pictures later, you know. But for a long time, all you could pretty much do in the first 4 or 5 years, all you could do was either put the picture at the beginning of the copy or at the end of the copy. You couldn't put it in the middle, because if you put it in the middle, the copy moves around it. It doesn't stay with it, and there really was no way to lock it down. And you know, unless you did it as a double page spread, so it was like basically, you know, 2 pages were considered 1 page instead, and then it doesn't move. But otherwise, you know, it's a flowing document, and, you know, you can be reading it and you're getting half of the copyright page on 1 page and half of the copyright page on the next page, or you're getting half of the, you know, table of contents. You don't get it all on 1 page, because it depends on how somebody's looking at it. And they also can go up and down on the type font. You know, you can make your font bigger if you you know, if you don't read, you know, if your eyesight's not as good, or you can make it smaller, you know. And obviously, if you make it smaller, you get, you know, a full page. If you make it bigger, you only get a half a page or a quarter of a page or whatever. So, so that's kind of always been the challenge. But it'll be interesting to see, you know, how rigid they are on those deadlines, Janice, because I can't imagine that they're going to convert millions of files, you know, in a couple of months. I mean, I was kind of astonished by the date. Maybe I looked at it wrong, but it sure looked like it's June something.
It's June 23rd or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, which is not very long to be converting a bunch of files if you're going to convert. And the problem with Word documents has always been that stuff moves. I mean, I can't, you know, if I convert from a Word document to Apple to Mac, the pictures in the Word document don't, unless, like Jay Stevens said, you've locked it down. They, you know, they show up on page 3 instead of page 1, or they show up on page 27 instead of page, you know, 20.
Yeah, you have to lock them down, or they're all over the place. But you can. It's pretty easy to lock down on pages.
Yeah, pages will do it all. It's just going the other way.
Yeah.
You can't. It doesn't work quite as well, and so that's why, you know, a lot of times we do other stuff. And I don't know, and publisher apparently, you know, may not lock it down as well either, or maybe people just don't know, you know, to do that, so they don't do that. And then
it's saying on the email that please note Mobi files are still accepted for fixed layout ebooks.
Right.
No
so
graphics.
Like you say, if you want it to be locked in, they'll still take it. So maybe they're not going to get rid of the other. Maybe you just have the option to convert if you want to. Maybe that's what the June. What does it say about the June date, Linda?
June 28th. June 28th. It said, we listened to you, blah, blah, blah. Starting June 28th, no longer support files in Mobi, PRC, and AZK formats when publishing new reflowable ebooks or updating the content of previously published ebooks. Instead, the publishers ask to use EPUBs or KDP create file or docs with Microsoft for files that are reflowable.
Okay. So I guess they're going to keep them, Janice. They're not going to kick you out. They're just saying that if you want to convert to the newer version.
Well, it sounds like if you do change, then you have to change. If you change your Mobi file and you make a correction on your book, it sounds like then you have to change it to a new file.
Right.
Well, you mentioned the it's called Kindle Create.
Yeah,
I think that's tied in with it, right? It's their own little formatting.
Yeah, it's their
it was
Kindle.
it was in beta last time I looked at it, but it was a little slow, but it worked really well. The formatting came out really beautiful compared to just uploading a Word file. So I imagine it's that is going to generate whatever format it is that they want. And if you're doing reflowable text like mine is, because I don't have any pictures, yeah, it's probably not going to be a huge issue, I don't think.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so the romance stuff not going to be an issue. The you know, those sci-fi fantasy stuff not going to be an issue. What's going to be an issue, like you said, be the children's books or
picture
the
books. Yeah,
nonfiction or,
absolutely.
you know, cookbooks. That is probably going to be, you know, an issue.
Don't say cookbook.
Photography.
Because I know you were up all night.
Photography books, you know, whatever, you know, those are the things that are going to have, you know, you're going to have to massage maybe a little bit better than the other stuff. So it'll be interesting to see. And like you say, I mean, Ingram has never been in the EPUB business before, but they've jumped in, and it's probably the same thing. I mean, they're, you know, probably, you know, 20 or 30% of their audience is probably a library. And the libraries are probably the ones that are asking for those EPUB files, and they don't want to have to go to 3 or 4 different people. They don't want to have to go to Ingram and order. They don't want to have to go to Overdrive and order. They don't want to have to go to Amazon and order, because the cities don't like that. Okay. You work for a municipality, they want you to have one vendor. They don't want to be having 5 or 6 or 10 vendors. They want to say, why can't you buy all your stuff from one place? And this is your budget, and you get your budget, and you get a budget every year or every quarter, you know, whatever, twice a year. And this is what your budget is, and this is who you can buy from, you know, and you can't deviate a lot from that very often. Occasionally they'll work with a local person, you know, they'll figure out a way, they'll buy it through their petty cash thing or some other account. It's just like when we're talking about selling to, you know, to gift stores or to clothing stores or something like that. You know, you can't tell them that you've got a book for sale because they don't have a book on their inventory list. You know, they can't go to their computer and key that in and pay for it, you know, because it's not on their list. And so that's why you got to say it's a gift item, because they do have a gift item on their list. On their inventory list, they got things like shirts and blouses and pants and shoes and gift items. Okay. And what they put under gift items is, you know, all that stuff like purses or hats or scarves or necklaces or jewelry, you know, other things that women buy to accessorize, you know, and that's considered a gift item. So that's why you have to say this book is a gift item. It's not a book, it's a gift item. Same thing when you talk to the university. You go to colleges and universities, if that's your market, you can't tell them you got a book for sale. What you got to tell them is you got supplemental educational material that's going to help that student, you know, either have a life experience or understand life better or learn some kind of life skill or learn or something, but you got to call it supplemental educational material. And it don't matter if it's a t-shirt, if it's a book, a poster, you know, whatever it is, it can be whatever, but you know, what they got on their list is a supplemental, you know, educational material. That's what they can buy. So you got to talk like what they can buy. So, you know, you just learn by doing, and you just learn by calling, and they talk to you and say, well, what do you buy? And they say, well, we buy supplemental educational material. Okay, great.
I just happen to have that.
Just happen to have some of that right here. How many would you like? You know, same thing, you know. Oh, you have gift items. Great. How many would you need? How many would you like to put on the counter? You know, please take 10 or 12 or whatever. We can drop them off tomorrow. But, you know, so you learn it, but we're going to be able to hopefully get back out on the streets. I think the more visibility we get, the opportunity, you know, we want to keep driving people to our YouTube channel too. You know, we want to go in and watch the videos, you know, go in and try to get one person every couple of days to go in and watch a video and subscribe, because we got to get to 100 people before they'll let us use our name on the URL. So it's kind of hard to send out a URL that says youtube.com, .com/B6423748 ABCD, because everybody's looking at that going, who is that? What is that? But if we can get up to 100 people, then we can put dynamic authors on there as the title. When you get up to 100 people, or maybe it's 1,000 people, then you can start selling advertising. Then you can make money back, and money starts coming back your way. So that's the reason we've got to build our audiences up too, because there are certain levels with certain platforms that, you got to get to a certain level before you can do some of these other things. So we'll be looking at those things. I think, like you say, I'm very excited about the deal with Will, because I just know that he's well connected and across multiple platforms and across multiple industries, if you want to call it that, communication, entertainment type industries. And we all have other things, like you say, or what's our ultimate goal? Well, maybe our ultimate goal is a television show. Well, maybe our ultimate goal is is a movie, is a film. Maybe our ultimate goal is, is a Hallmark Channel television show. Maybe something else for somebody else. So we want to keep those things in mind, and we want to keep pushing those things. And then I think the C-suite thing is a major boon, because, that's those sponsors that we want to try to target, and on an ongoing basis as we're going forward. We need to be thinking, who's the 5 or 10 people that might be interested in what we're talking about? Like for Sharon, it's going to be animal rescue centers. It's going to be veterinarians. It's going to be, fire departments. It's going to be, mountain rescue, or it's going to be, whatever, the vet associations and things like that. Or, so those are the people, that we need to be looking at for her. For Alicia, it's going to be anybody that does family, that's an Oshkosh. That's a, kids, anybody that sells kids clothes, or anybody that sells, kids shoes, anybody that sells any kind of kid thing. That's a Mattel, a Playmate, a Play-Doh, any of those slime. Who makes that slime stuff? The girls went sliming on me all week this week. Every time, every room I go into, I find a batch of stuff. Like, what is this? They're like, we're making slime, Annie. I'm like, oh my God, I got one bowl and you're using my one bowl to make slime in. Go wash this out. But anyway, thinking about that, when you're at, even if you just go to the grocery store, and you walk down the aisle, I mean, Jay Stevens, it's going to be, it's maybe Kraft. It may be, whoever makes green beans, or whoever makes French's onion rings, or whatever, I mean, he's got Sydney string bean coming up, so it's green bean casserole. Well, what's in that? Well, it's Campbell's soup, because you're putting mushroom soup in there or whatever. So we just got to think about those things. A little bit harder for Bobo and Linda, because weather, but they're raincoats. There are people that make umbrellas. There are people that make raincoats. They're astronomy, or cloud and moon and stars associations, and all of that kind of stuff, and clubs. They're probably the Boy Scouts. We probably ought to look at the Boy Scouts or something like that, because they got to have badges and stuff that they have to get.
All you need to do is contact the Gassy.
There you go.
Oh, good. That's
who I would contact. I'd send them a book.
Who is that? Right. Who'd you say?
The Gassy.
The astronomer, the
astronomer, yes, pretty famous black guy. He's really
popular. I couldn't understand what you said.
Yeah, real popular guy. He would be ideal for your book.
Yeah.
I think Will was very impressive myself.
Yeah, I think that. So, Liz, will we then get our own copy of that, or is it
right? Yeah, what you'll do is produce the copy, and then you'll get the hour-long show to use however you want to use.
Okay.
In addition to, and then in addition to, like you say, once they've got the recording, they'll put the recording on the C-suite, and there probably are some other networks they're talking to. I don't know who they are yet, but there are a lot of new networks that are coming on the scene, to try to compete with Netflix and Hulu, and Disney's doing a big push. Disney's putting millions into their Disney Plus new thing. I just saw their president interviewed on a show, last week, and he was talking about how they're making a 180-degree turn to live streaming video and Disney Plus, to put money into that, to market that. And so all of those people are going to be looking for content. They're going to be, they're going to create a bunch of it themselves, but they're also going to be looking for a bunch of it. And all the cable channels, the history channels, the A&E channels, all of those channels are, they're going to be looking for content too, because, the thing about Amazon is, they can go to their bestsellers, they have unlimited content. All Amazon has to do is go to their author and say, hey, do you want to do a deal, or we want to make a movie based on your books? I mean, who's going to say no to that? The problem with Hulu and Netflix and all those things, they don't have that. They got to go out and find that person. They can't just call them up or send them an email or whatever, because they don't have their information. So they got to have producers that go out and find these shows and then bring them back to them. And then they decide whether they like it or not, or whether they want to do anything with it or not. But we also, anybody that has that thought or wants to do that, we need to be thinking about writing that summary that's, basically like a mini screenplay, which is a 3 or 4 page document. Same thing you'd have to send to a big publisher if you want to get published through a publisher. You're going to have to send them a proposal or a summary of, what's called it's a book proposal if it's nonfiction book. If it's a script, it's a summary of the script. And you got to compare it to other movies. You got to say, well, it's kind of a cross between, whatever, Peter Pan and, and the Lost Boys or whatever. You got to try to make some comparisons. So they go, oh, okay. I know what that is. Well, it's going to be similar to that. And then they know automatically, oh, it's a similar audience. It's a teen audience, or it's a women's audience, or it's a family audience, whatever. But we need to be thinking about those things, just as we're doing. And anybody that wants to do that, just put that on the list and let us know, because we have some other people, that are better at doing that than maybe we are. I don't do it necessarily, but I've got some, some other folks that, that do those kinds of things. So it's that same thing about, networking together and thinking about what we want to do. What's our long-term vision? What do we want our long-term goal to be? And some of us have things besides just selling the books, like you say, maybe we want a television show, maybe we want to do a movie, maybe we want to do, whatever.
Liz, I hate to do this, but I've got to go. I got to make a phone call before it gets any later. And I enjoyed seeing everybody. I'll see y'all next week.
Thanks. Send me your notes.
Okay, bye.
Well, Alicia, thank you very much for reading. So this has been the Tuesday Book Club. Alicia Adamson reading her book, Morgan Becomes a Big Sister. You'll be able to watch the recordings, and we hope that you'll come back next week, because next week we'll have J. Stephen Sadler will be on reading from his Happy Veggies series, healthy eating series. And we appreciate y'all very much for showing up tonight, and we hope you'll come back and bring visitors with you next time.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.